Welcome to the first Battle of the Aholes. Let's all judge these 3 stories and see who is the biggest ahole. First up we have AITA for laughing when my son came home from meeting his girlfriend's parents because he chose to behave like he does at home. My son burps a lot while eating. I have tried telling him multiple times that it is rude. I've told him to slow down so he doesn't swallow air with his food. I've told him that it is disgusting. My wife will instantly jump in to defend him. She will say that's just the way he is and that it's not his fault. The thing is, he can control himself when I remind him. He just chooses not to. He just went on a date with his girlfriend last night and she tore him a new ahole. It was his first time meeting her parents since they live in another city. They went out to a fancy restaurant and he burped all the way through supper. He came home almost in tears from her chewing him out for behaving like a jackass in front of her family. I heard him telling my wife about it and I laughed. She asked what was so funny and I reminded them both that I had tried dozens if not hundreds of times to teach him table manners and he rejected them and she protected him. I said that now he is a grown man and he had to learn the hard way. They both think she overreacted and that I'm the ahole for being amused by his experience. Opus has offered the following explanation for why they think they might be the ahole. I tried to teach my kid table manners, but his mother objected. He just got destroyed on a date meeting his girlfriend's parents. I laughed when I heard the story. I might be the ahole for not commiserating with him about his girlfriend yelling at him for burping through an entire meal with her parents. Next competitor is AITA for telling one of my daughter's classmates' moms to fuck off about what I put in my daughter's lunch. For some context before the story, I cook Asian foods regularly for dinner and for my daughter, Lily's lunches at school. This is because my family enjoys these foods. I like to cook these foods, and my mom cooked a bunch of these foods growing up since she's half Japanese. Oftentimes I'll either give my daughter some leftovers from last night's dinner, plus a fruit, veggie, and a snack, or I'll make her a quick little bento box or some other thing really quick. So, after school one day, my daughter wanted to play on the playground for a bit before we went home. I said she could play for a few minutes, and she ran off to play. I was waiting next to this other parent, who we'll call Deborah. While I was waiting, Deborah came up to me. Deborah, are you Lily's mother? Me? Oh, yeah, I am. Why? Deborah, well, your daughter's lunches have been bothering my son, and I would like to ask you to pack something else. Me? What? How are they bothering him? She then proceeded to start talking about how her son was complaining about my daughter's lunches smelling terrible, and that he thought it was disgusting. She also said her son didn't eat most of his lunch because he was so grossed out. Me? Okay, I understand your son doesn't like the smell, but can't he just sit somewhere else? Deborah, are you kidding me? My son shouldn't have to put up with whatever crap you make your daughter bring to this school. It's disgusting. And she started making more vaguely racist complaints, but I was fed up at this point. Me? Listen, I understand your son might not like my daughter's food, but he can very easily just not sit next to her. I'm not changing what's in my daughter's lunches because you and your kid don't want to exist near Asian food. Fuck off. She angrily stomped off with her kid then, and my daughter finished playing soon after, so we went home. I talked to my husband about it, and he said that maybe I shouldn't have told her to fuck off, to avoid her bothering us in the future. AITA. And finally, AITA for embarrassing someone by pretending to be Japanese. Backstory: have a Japanese name even though I am not ethnically Japanese. They met and fell in love while studying in Japan, and had me there after marrying. We lived there until I was 14 before moving to the States. This will be important later on. Today a group of my roommate's friends came over to study with her, and I happened to be in the living room when they arrived. They were introducing themselves to me, and when I said my name, and one of the girls made a disgusted face and laughed at me saying that was so dumb. She said that she was Japanese American and I was culturally appropriating her country as a white person. I tried to explain that I lived in Japan for a while and that was why, but she kept insisting I was lying and that if I was telling the truth I would be able to speak the language. Since she put it like that, I started talking to her in Japanese. She ends up stuttering through a sentence in an awkward manner before leaving in a huff. Later my roommate told me I embarrassed her by pretending to be more Japanese than an actual Japanese person and appropriating the culture, and her friend expected an apology. My roommate doesn't think I did anything wrong, but now I feel like I've bad. So what do you think? The burpy son's mother, the anti-vegan dad, or the fake Japanese girl? Who, if any, is the biggest ahole? Comment below, and remember, if you like Am I the Ahole, then subscribe for more.